Hello, I'm going to tell you how to make a practical 7, okay? This was task 11 and we had to make a virtual dice, okay? So you have the instructions here and I will follow all the steps with you in the Scratch webpage. So we go to scratch.meet.edu and we create a new project. So first thing first, we have to remove the cat, okay? We don't want the cat for this project. Next thing we have to do, if we follow the instructions, we need to create a new backdrop that is going to be called light. It looks like this, okay? So we look for the new backdrop called light. So where do you find your backdrops here? Okay, so choose a backdrop and we are going to look for light, that is here. Okay, now we have the new backdrop. What else? We need our sprite, and our new sprite is going to be the star. Okay, star 1 that looks like this is going to be the sprite we need here. We go here to this section when we have new sprite, choose a sprite, and we are going to choose star 1. Where is star 1? Oh, here it is, star, okay? It's called star in this version of the program. So we have to put it in the middle, and we are going to play this star as a button that will make us show a number, okay? This is going to be like a dice. Do you remember what a dice is? Okay, a dice is this, okay? So we are going to throw our dice and decide the number, okay? So to do this, we are going to be using something new that is called the variables. In the book, it's about data block. We don't have the data block here. This is a slight difference with the book, but we have the variables in orange, okay? The variables block, okay? We are going to need the variables block, the variables category. Okay, the rest is very easy. You have to, we want, when we click on the star, we want values from 1 to 7, like a dice, okay? So when you throw a dice, you get a number from 1 to 7. So it's the same thing, but it's a virtual dice. So when we click here, we want a number, okay? Between 1 and 6. So how do we proceed with this? We are going to choose a variable, okay? So to make a variable, you have to go to data node, to variables, okay? Data is for the older version. So we have to create a variable, and this is how you are going to do it. You go to variables, you press the button make a variable, and you name it numbers. You write the name, you choose for all sprites, and you press OK. So look at this, we have our variable here, okay? So what is the next thing we have to do? We have the variable to change, okay? We need it to change. So how? You have to create this block, okay? So in this block that we are going to create, the first step, when this sprite is clicked, when the star is clicked, this code here is going to work. So first things first, we set our variable numbers to 0. This is very important because if we don't do this, the variable is going to hold the older value it had, okay? So it's not going to be working properly. We need to set the variable to 0 before we start the program. And then we change the variable and pick a random number between 1 and 6. How do we make all these blocks here? Okay, so first, when the sprite is clicked, we have to choose it from the events block, okay? From the events category. When not the space, this sprite, okay? When this sprite is clicked. What do we need to do now? We have to, in the control category, set our variable to 0, okay? No, sorry, in the variables category, okay? Set your variable that is called numbers. Set numbers to 0. Next step, we have to change the value of our variable. So we change numbers, that is the name of our variable. How? Okay, not by 1. This adds 1 to our variable, but we want to choose a random number. So we go to operators, the green section here, and we are going to choose random number. Okay? But between 1 and 6, not 10. Okay, so we already have this part. Change numbers by pick random 1 to 6, and then we are going to be creating these small blocks, 6 of them, that are almost the same, and these blocks are going to ask is number 1, then show a message saying 1. Is number 2, then show a message saying number 2. So we are going to ask for the value of our variable and compare it with a number and show the answer. Okay, so this is how we are going to decide what our programs are going to do. So in this, we have to add a control block, that is if then, and we write if operators control the green block. Okay, so it's going to be operator, sorry, if our variable equals something. So this kind of block decides if something that is here is the same as something that is here. We choose 1 here, but we have to place here our variable. So we go to variables, and our variable, remember, is called numbers. We drag it here, and so it says if numbers is equal to 1, then we want to say 1. Okay, so we in the looks block we say 1, because that is the number, for 2 seconds. Okay, so this block is going to be repeated with different values here. Okay, so you see if it equals 2, if it equals 3, like that. Okay, so you can repeat all the time what I just did, but another option is you press on this block, you press duplicate, and you create the same thing again, and you press duplicate and you create you create the same thing again, like 6 times. Okay, duplicate, oh my god, okay, sorry. How many of them? 5. I need one more, so duplicate. Okay, I already have 5. So the first one is 1. The second one is going to be 2. If numbers equals 2, say 2. And I place it here. If number equals 3, I say 3. And I place it here. If numbers equals 4, I say 4. If number equals 5, I say 5. And if number equals 6, I say 6. So that's it. Now we can test our program. Okay, so we press to test our program, we press the green flag, and now we are going to click on the star. 4. See what happened? Numbers became 4, and also the star told us that the number chosen was 4. I click again. So you see the star says 3 because the variable changed to 3. I click again, 1, like that. Okay, so I am just throwing the dice. I'm choosing a random number. Okay, this is how I choose who is going to present with every time you have to go and make your presentation. I choose it like this. Okay, with a random number. What else? Okay, so at the end of the program, they are asking us to make something different. Okay, so it says challenge 1. You have to change the message that says you got a 1. So this is very easy. I'm sure you can do it. Okay, so you have to say uh, this message. Okay, that says, sorry, uh, you got, for example, you've got, for example, whatever. Okay, and then you have to change. Okay, you have to think about that. And then the next thing is you have to what happens, this is interesting, with you start with 1. So let's try. If you start with 1 and I click the green flag, look at what is happening with my numbers. 3, 4, 2, 6, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7. So we have never 1, okay? And we sometimes get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is because we are starting in 1. If we are starting in 1, then our number that is going to be added needs to be between 0 and 5. If we make this small change, it's going to happen, it's going to work. Look at it. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 1. We never get a 7. We sometimes get 1. Okay, so it's working properly. Okay, so that was the difference. If we start in 3, it was not going to happen. If we start in -1, we have to add 2 to 7, something like that. Okay, because this is the initial value. Okay, so that's it for now. If you didn't finish your practice, just finish it now with these instructions.